So Betty, thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you for being here.
Yes, we're so happy to be
Appreciate it so
here.
much.
Yes, and I'm so happy to see that you're doing well and you're back in your home.
Yes, finally.
I know.
Such
It's been a
relief.
long time. We started when? Back in January?
January. Well, I'm not sure what the day was right now. I left home January 4th.
Yes.
So at some point after that.
So months later. And when did you exactly get back in your house? What month was that again and day?
April 12th.
See? Oh, right before your birthday or after?
After my birthday.
Nice.
But
So you made
it worked out good.
Well, I appreciate you having us here, and we just wanted to ask you a few questions just to
Sure.
see how it's been since you've been back home and tell us a little about your house. So I just want to start off by asking you, how did you hear about NeighborWorks?
I had made many calls to different agencies, and then finally I got your number, NeighborWorks, and I called and left my name and phone number, and I received a call back from you. I remember it oh so well. You took the time to listen to my plight, and you promised me that you will get back to me, even though you were working on another big case. But it was where you would definitely call me back. And after making many calls previously, it's like, well, I don't know, like, what will I do? Just explain my situation and see if there's any possibility to get help, because I didn't have any money.
And it's tough when you're on a fixed income and, huge repairs happen.
Yes.
So basically, I know that to get these projects done, which is you needed electrical work, you needed, at that time, then you had to shut off your water because your heat wasn't working. So you had electrical going on, your heat was in disrepair, and then your pipes froze because you had none of these utilities on.
Correct.
So at that time we were shocked. You and I, we had these conversations like we couldn't believe that all of this, tumbled down to you at the same time. So
Yeah, it was like a domino effect, and
Yeah.
it just got worse and worse and worse.
it was,
And, it was like, I can't throw in the towel, I have to get help,
I know.
and you were there. Very grateful for that.
We're so happy we're able to help you, and with the help of United Way, they contributed funds towards the plumbing and ACE.
ACE.
Yes, they did the heating. So it was like everything happened all, how we needed it to happen.
Exactly, yep.
So we're so glad that we had, that work. We were able to collab with the other agencies in our community. That's what we're here for. That's what, social service agencies want to come together in the community to make sure that we could, make an impact on your life and keep you in your home safely. So, besides all that, Betty, I want to hear a little bit about your home and some memories you have in here. Because how many years are you here?
Well, it will be 40 years in December.
Oh my goodness.
And this is a real special home. It's not a mansion, but there's so many wonderful memories that my husband, myself, our children, because we were a blended family, and grandchildren and great-grandchildren to have come here. I used to love, to have like dinners and cookouts and things like that. And for many, many years, until my husband passed, the holidays was whoever could make it to come here. And it's maybe a medium-sized house, but we were able to get all the children, from children, they grew up and then had grandchildren, to always be staying over. We had Bible times here with, our son, my husband and I were Sunday school teachers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and, we would have, different parties and camping out.
It was a big family house.
Yep. And the original house was a farmhouse that burned down.
Oh.
And my husband, he was raised here. He was like about 2. But then when he was about 9, the house went up in flames.
Oh my goodness.
And the smoke is what had woke him up. And fortunately, he was able to get his dad awake because he couldn't breathe. He had asthma, born with it. And by waking up his dad, it got everybody out of the house, including his handicapped wife. It was on first floor. They were all on second floor. And it just always seemed to be a house with grandkids, you know, and kids were real special to me. And it was always my hope and dream, even after my husband left. Well, he didn't leave, but he passed, that he would go, that I would be able to do things, you know, even though he was gone. Medically, I thought it was going to be me to go first, but it turned out to be him. And so I've had that opportunity. And then when all this happened with the house, like it felt like, oh, now I'm not going to be able, like, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? All those questions that kind of come to your mind. And I did do a plan B, like to go into like housing for senior citizens if I couldn't get help. But I kept thinking, like, I'd hate to see the place just become stagnant with nobody here, you know, and eventually just fall down, or, you know, unless squatters took over. But they wouldn't be able to live here because there was no water, there's no heat.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, unbearable. You couldn't do anything without functioning electricity and water,
Yeah.
heat.
So it was like a miracle.
It was a miracle. It really, really was a miracle.
I know, and that's why, you know, my next question would be, like, for the modifications that were done in the house, like, how did that impact your safety and your accessibility in the home?
Well, first of all, the basement is where the circuit box was.
Yeah.
And I became disabled years ago, and I hadn't been down in the basement. So if there was ever something that would cause electricity for the circuit breaker to go off, I would have to call somebody or wait till somebody came around to trip the switch. So I had just inquired to see if it was possible to have the box moved upstairs where I could get to it. And you said yes. And because of that, now if the circuit breaker was to go off,
Yeah.
I can just go over, switch the switch, and it gives me that feeling of independence.
Yes.
That's important, especially when you get older and you have medical problems.
Yeah, I know, and I'm so happy that we were able to do that for you. It's just amazing to be able to see you back in your home, and you're happy, and it's right before the summertime.
I know. You know, like a few other things happened to me, you know, which I don't really want to get into. I'll just say that I had a stroke, but it didn't happen because of this. It just happened. I mean, everything was already in the works of being fixed. And after I ended up in the hospital and then rehab, the only thing left to be done was the plumbing. And of course, that was the last stage of the process to be fixed. And to be able to tell the social worker of, I'm going to go home, saying to go home is like as if I hadn't been here in 50 years. You know, it was just a thought of...
Yeah, because you were staying with your daughter.
I was, yeah.
Before you had the stroke and everything, and she had, you know, a home for you to stay in, but it wasn't accessible for you with your disability.
Exactly.
Like, from my understanding, it was hard for you to get up the stairs and everything.
I couldn't get up the steps at all because of a previous stroke and walking with a walker. And so I was very limited. So I remained down on first floor. Unfortunately, there was a bathroom.
Yes.
Well, a half bath. And so
that's all you had to utilize for that kind of
Right.
meeting. And that's why we were so adamant on wanting to assist you with these projects, because we knew how important it was for you and just for your safety and your dignity as
Yeah,
well.
exactly.
And you know what, Betty? After all this work was done, how do you feel being back in your home?
Ah, I feel peace. I feel relieved. I feel somewhat independent, even though I have my limitations, but I have a freedom because this is home.
Mm-hmm. This is your home. And we're so happy that we were able to get you in here, honestly and truthfully. And thank you so much for sitting here with me, having this time to talk. You know, you always know that NeighborWorks is here for you.
And I really appreciate so much.